Hi, I'm Tina, and this is the Trade Show Planning Podcast, the creators of Tradeshow Basecamp. If you haven't already, click subscribe below to find our channel quickly and to get notifications when a new podcast becomes available. In this podcast, I'll be sharing some of TradeshowPlanning.com's top trade show tips for small businesses. From training booth staff to budget signage tips, I'll be covering the secrets to having a profitable trade show. Like many small businesses, budget is probably an issue for your trade show planning. For a 10 by 10 exhibit space, also known as an inline space, many small businesses love retractable banner stands and pop-up displays. These signage products are more affordable and also easier and cheaper to transport than other branded booth properties. Even a single large retractable banner stand can cost $300 or more. For this reason, I recommend that you always plan your signage with reusability in mind. Specifically, you want to design your signage with generic messages and stable products in mind, not one-off promotions or sales. Messages specific to one show or temporary pricing information can be printed in a much cheaper way. Use temporary adhesive, for instance, to attach affordable poster boards to more permanent signs or hardware, or use tabletop signs for displaying this type of information. Is your trade show exhibit space larger than a 10 by 10? For instance, a so-called island or corner space? You've got some space to fill. It's tempting to buy permanent new or used booth properties to reflect your brand. However, this is not necessarily the best investment for a small business. Booth properties need to be shipped, sometimes at great expense to you. Once at the show, union regulations often require that you pay official labor to assemble your branded booth, another really large expense. My recommendation to you? Consider renting booth properties. Work with the vendors endorsed by the trade show themselves to rent booth properties. The vendors will then print the signs and install them in the rented booth properties at the show. That means you won't pay for shipping. Best of all, official show vendors tend to offer the same sizes in terms of booth properties and signage from show to show. That means that the signage that you buy from them is frequently reusable from one show to the next. A combination of retractable banner stands, pop-up displays, maybe even that your staff carry in, and rented booth properties can be a really affordable way for you to fill your booth space. Another great way to fill booth space? Host presentations at your exhibit. Later in this podcast, we'll discuss why you may want to consider hosting presentations in your exhibit space. Our next topic: driving traffic to your exhibit. Let's talk more about hosting presentations in your exhibit area. Instead of renting expensive conference space from the show itself, design your exhibit to include presentation space. An interesting presentation with an audience is a surefire way to draw traffic to your booth. Live product demonstrations and educational presentations in your exhibit area have the following advantages. 1. They fill large space usefully and cost-effectively. Renting a few chairs is way cheaper than renting booth property and is a great way to fill the space at your exhibit in a professional-looking way. 2, it allows you to save money on renting conference room space for presentations. Renting conference room space for sales presentations can be very costly. This strategy is cheaper and also serves to 3, drive traffic to your exhibit. Not only will presentations in the exhibit attract attendees passing by, but you can promote the presentation schedule in your pre-show marketing. This gives attendees a reason to schedule a trip to visit you. Another great way to drive traffic to your exhibit: use great icebreakers. Regardless of pre-show marketing, it's still the responsibility of trade show staff to actively start conversations using icebreakers. That means striking up conversations with attendees passing by and actively initiating conversations with those already in your exhibit. As we teach in Tradeshow Basecamp, great icebreakers are open-ended questions. An open-ended question like, "What brings you to the show today?" These types of questions are much more likely to make an attendee stop and think about their reply, giving you a chance to continue the conversation. Want to learn more about how to create great icebreakers? Visit tradeshowplanning.com/blog. My last recommendation in this podcast for driving traffic: hanging signs. Signs that hang from the expo ceiling aren't necessarily cheap. However, if you have a large exhibit space, they are unfortunately a must. At a large trade show, a well-designed hanging sign can attract attention from a great distance, making it easier for trade show attendees to find you. A great hanging sign should include attractive colors, your brand name, and a descriptive tagline about what you offer. My third topic in this podcast is probably the most important: how to train staff. I'm assuming if you're watching or listening to this podcast, you've probably already committed thousands to hundreds of thousands of dollars to exhibit at a trade show. The biggest mistake that we see small businesses make at a trade show: not adequately preparing staff to sell, even if it means spending just a few dollars more. Without training, your staff will be little more than warm bodies at the exhibit, and your trade show likely to be a waste of time and money. This can spell ruin for a small business or startup who have sunk a lot of their budget into exhibiting at a trade show. The purpose of exhibiting at a trade show is, of course, to sell. Make sure that all staff working your exhibit understand the following: your business goals, how to start sales conversations with great icebreakers, how to qualify leads during a conversation with a potential customer using the lead interview, when to disengage from conversations that will never lead to a sale, and how to propose a next step that will meet one of your sales goals. Sound daunting? Have staff working the booth who aren't sales pros? So how can you get your staff up to speed quickly without breaking the bank? To solve these problems, we've created Tradeshow Basecamp, the first online video course of its kind. This course is designed to teach you or your staff to have profitable sales conversations in just 5 easy steps. More than trade show tips and tricks, Tradeshow Basecamp is a complete guide to training your staff to have profitable sales conversations. Have you learned anything in this podcast that you didn't already know? To learn more about Tradeshow Basecamp, visit tradeshowplanning.com. Thanks for listening to the Tradeshow Planning Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and visit us at tradeshowplanning.com.